Hello friends, if you're new here, my name is Malki Assad, a plastic surgery resident in the US, and in this video we're going to talk about how to answer a common residency interview question, which is, what are your strengths? This question might come in different variations, such as, what are your strengths? What makes you unique from other applicants? Why should we choose you over other applicants? What makes you stand out? Or describe your strength in 3 words. To answer this question effectively, I recommend that you focus on 2 or 3 characteristics that you want to convey through answering this question. To do that, you have to brainstorm about all the strengths that you believe you have. For example, if you believe you have good clinical skills, you can write that down. Good clinical skills, teamwork, research experience, volunteer experience, sport, arts, and then you start picking 2 or 3 that you can also tailor to each program. So if you see if you're applying to a program that has heavy emphasis on research, maybe the research could be one of the 3 points that you want to talk about. If you're interviewing at a program that values volunteering activities, or you have some outreach efforts, you can talk about that there. If you're interviewing at another program that doesn't put so much emphasis on research but maybe more on clinical skills, maybe you can prioritize that point. So make a list of all these points that you want to talk about, and then pick 2 or 3 for each program depending on what the program is looking for. One tip here is to avoid memorizing the answer, and this is a tip I give for all residency interview questions, not specifically to this one, because if you memorize the answer, it's not going to look spontaneous. You're going to look as if someone studied the answer and they're just repeating it. You lose the natural sense of the answer. You lose the spontaneous component of the conversation, which is the interview. So I highly recommend putting few bullet points. Know what you're going to answer. Don't show up to the interview unprepared. Know what are the points that you want to talk about, but the exact wording of that answer should be spontaneous and come on the spot. Another tip when it comes to answering this question is to avoid repeating your CV. Here people are looking to learn about your experiences. Why are you a unique applicant, rather than your scores or your awards or certain experiences that you went through that doesn't mean a lot to you. So don't repeat your CV. People already know your CV, but you have to know your CV very well. Another tip when it comes to answering this question is to be humble. I can't stress that point enough. There is nothing that can throw program directors off choosing you more than being arrogant. So when answering this question, don't say what makes me stand out from other applicants is my great clinical skills and I'm the best researcher, or I'm probably the best out of all students, because avoid these terms. Start answering this question directly by talking about your experience. Don't repeat what makes me stand out from other applicants, or I'm better than other applicants because, or avoid any mention of something that makes you look arrogant. Answering this question in a very humble manner is what's gonna make you stand out. I also recommend when talking about your strength to avoid things that are already in your CV. Avoid talking about your scores or awards or things that don't mean a lot to you. Focus more on the experiences. So things you can talk about include your background, your medical school experience and the clinical skills you got, teamwork, research experience, volunteer experiences, maybe sports, art, music, or anything that makes you stand out. But be very careful here in the way you convey this message. So instead of saying, I'm a hard-working person, I worked from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. every day during my rotations at my medical school, instead of saying that, maybe say something, I'm someone who's very passionate about patient care. I remember my time during my surgery rotation in my medical school, or your US clinical experience if you're talking about an IMG who's coming to the US to do US clinical experience. Time just flew by. Working from 8 to 9, I never felt that this is 16 hours or 19 hours of work. So instead of saying I'm a team player, I work well with teams, you can say something like, I'm someone who enjoys working with teams. During my research time, I worked with a group of medical students, research fellows, and attendings, and I always enjoyed the collaborative effort between the different team members to get our project to a higher level. Or if you want to talk about your great clinical skills, instead of saying I have amazing clinical skills, you can say something like, during my medical school rotations, we were exposed to a wide variety of cases. I was working day and night with the different residents and I never felt time. Every day confirmed my passion in this specialty and made me realize how much I need to learn to provide excellent patient care. So you can see how these examples are not answering the question in a linear fashion. What are your strengths? My strengths are hardworking, team player, passionate about patient care. I'm talking about experiences here. I'm talking about experiences that can present multiple strengths at the same time. So instead of saying I have research experiences and I'm a team player. I'm talking about how I enjoy working with a team, which is saying, in other words, I'm a team player. And I'm also talking about my research experience, how I worked with different people, how I enjoyed getting their opinion and getting our research project to publication on a higher level because of the input of the different people. The same with the clinical example I mentioned when I talked how I got exposed to the variety of cases and how I was working day and night, how I enjoyed that. That is telling the person I'm interviewing with that I'm someone who's hardworking, that I get exposed to a wide variety of cases, hence I have amazing clinical skills, without saying I have amazing skills. Program directors and the people interviewing you are smart enough to figure out these clues from your answer. So that's why I want you to think about your answer very deeply. Don't just go to the superficial level. What are your strengths? My strength, I'm hardworking and team player and I play sports. You have to go to the next level to extrapolate on these experiences to present multiple strengths in one answer through a story. But be careful to keep that answer brief and concise, because your answer, I always recommend keeping it between 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, to keep the conversation flowing and not talk for like 3-4 minutes and the program director is losing attention to what you're talking about. So present 2-3 strengths through experiences, through stories, but in a very brief and concise manner, and avoid talking about things that are very obvious from your CV, such as your step 1 scores, your step 2 CK score, or awards that you won throughout your journey. If you need any help with your interview to brainstorm on the ideas that you want to mention in your answer, to do a mock session, provide you with feedback about your performance, don't hesitate to reach out to us at thematchguide.com. We have a list of great and experienced advisors who will help you tailor your answer based on your experiences and based on the programs you're applying to. And I'll leave the link for the different packages we have in the cards above and in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the free resources we have about interview preparation for residency applicants, that I'll leave the link for that also in the description below. It includes a list of over 200 questions that you might be asked about, a list of questions you can ask program directors at the end of your interview, and also some tips on how to answer residency interview questions in general. And I also prepared multiple YouTube videos that are available for free for you, and I'll leave the link for that in the description below as well. If you find any value in this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell sign so you get notified whenever I post future videos on my YouTube channel. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, or feel free to reach out to us on our email info@thematchguide.com, my Instagram or Twitter, Malki Assad, or my Facebook page, Malki Assad MD. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and see you in future videos. Good luck on your interview.